Yeah.
Hey,
So
this is
where have you
Keith
guys been going
Robine
to?
from Kootenai Avalanche Courses and State of the Snowpack. Happy New Year, everyone. It's January 3rd, 2024. We're teaching an AST course here. I want to zoom out. And we're really privileged to get to be the first group here in the tenure for Big Red Cats. Um, so we're on the southwest side of Mount Neptune, kind of down the ridge a little bit, at an elevation of 1,960 meters. We've got a whopping 75 centimeters. It's a pretty fat spot here in the Rossland Range. And, you know, we've been really careful riding through the terrain. Obviously, everyone is trying not to get hurt because the snow's coming. It's all coming, right? Woo! The snow is coming. It's actually snowing right now. We say S-1. It's snowing less than a centimeter an hour, but we'll take anything we can get. And let's take a look and talk briefly about the snowpack. There's been some interesting changes we have right now. Avalanche danger is low, low, low. The only avalanche problem listed on the bulletin is some wind slab. We haven't seen any evidence of that. And so generally it's a pretty solid snowpack. However, there are some things that are changing. We talk about this issue of metamorphosis. Metamorphosis in a geology sense happens over thousands of years. Metamorphosis in the snowpack happens over thousands of minutes and seconds. What we probably remember if you've been following things is that there's a rain crust from early December. And where things often change in a snowpack is around crusts. And so we're starting to see a little bit of changing around this crust. The good news was when the crust was formed, it went from warm, and at the end of that event, it turned cold. And so you had snow bonding to the wet snow underneath where it formed the crust, and it had a pretty good bond for a while. And now we're like, I don't know, almost a month since that event. And so what's happening is because there's very little snow above that crust, there's more things happening on a molecular level. We talk about temperature gradients, but basically some more angular faceted crystals are starting to form on top of the crust. And there have been 2 avalanches on that layer in the last week. Pretty isolated, but for a long time there were no issues with anything on top of the crust, and now we're starting to see potential for that to happen. And so we just did a test here. If you look at the snowpack, it's dirty because my shovel hit the ground. There is a surface hoar layer here. I don't have the date on that, but it would have been a dry period sometime in the middle of December. And we were getting some resistant planar results. We did do what's called an extended column test here, and it did not propagate, so that's good news. But there is a surface hoar layer there. I think potentially more concerning is this layer here. Again, it did not propagate, but we found some small facets sitting on top of this crust. So here's the crust, right? This was the big rain event right here. And this is where we had the fracture. Now, it didn't go all the way across the block, otherwise we'd be more concerned. It's only one test. We don't hang our hats on one test. But this is what they're talking about in the Avalanche Bulletin. There was one up at Kokanee last Thursday, a small size 1.5 avalanche on top of the crust. Very surprising. First avalanche on that layer this season. And then one in the Valhallas, I think, on Sunday. So, we just want to keep track of that, because if this continues to facet and the bond between the snow and the crust disintegrates, and it's, going to take more time for that to happen, this could turn into a persistent weak layer. Hopefully, I'm saying the good scenario would be for us to start getting snow like right now and continuing. Snow is in the forecast for several days. If we just continue to get snow and bury this, more than a meter below us, then probably that process of this metamorphism will slow down, and maybe this won't turn into a problem for us, and we can just ski some really good snow on top. The base is pretty solid in terms of keeping you off the ground, but because there's only 50 to 75 centimeters, we're just watching out for sharks and trying to, not get hurt, so that when the good snow comes, we're ready for it. I think that's good for now.